Let's also welcome on board Mr. Sandip Agarwal, Fund Manager at Sowilo Investment Managers, who's joining us. And Sandip, hi, good afternoon, and indeed a good afternoon, because look at the recovery that we've seen on the market today. Yet another session high, 24,570 thereabouts is where we are at. What have you made of this entire move that we've seen today? The resilience with which we started, the dip that we've seen, and the recovery. How are you reading the way the market has assimilated this tariff news today?
Hi, good afternoon, and thanks for having me on the show. So I would only say that, markets are always ahead of time and smarter. And I think the worst was already priced in the way things were panning out from last few days. And generally, I was listening to one of the previous commentators, and he was saying that uh, it is last leg of Trump's, negotiation skill they have seen in all previous deals, that it becomes very tough at the last, and so deal is nearby. So, I think markets are making some sense out of that also, but fundamentally, I think a lot of good opportunities available and at good price, and I think now investors are very, very smart. It is not like earlier when we used to, there was used to be panic and everything used to get sold. There could be panic for 2, 3 days, but people then put their mind together, think, and then come back and they buy what they want to buy, which they would have missed in the past. So I think that is a very, very mature evolution of Indian investor, which we are witnessing in last 1.5 years in a big way.
All right, that's the take on the markets, but we have to mark the stellar recovery. Sandip, your sense on SBI before we take it across to my colleague Varun to understand what we can expect. Sandip, what are you making of SBI's numbers, and not only SBI in particular, this time around your read-through on how PSU banks have performed in Q1?
So I think, PSU banks will be slightly better off than the private sector banks because of the deposit fantasy and the NIM compression which will happen because of the rate cut which has happened. So I believe that, public sector banks do have some advantage over the private sector banks, and that's the reason we believe that, SBI may surprise a little bit positively. The only thing which we need to see is that the fundraise which they have done, how they are going to deploy, if there is any new vision, any new thing to do, grow aggressively the book, something. So we will get more detail on that, and I think everyone is keenly awaiting tomorrow's results and followed by call to get more details on that part, because there will be a compression in NIM for everyone, that is quite known.
So that's the take on the PSU banks and SBI, and well, this is the last banking heavyweight to report its earnings. Sandip, give us a sense on what you think Titan's numbers could look like this time around, and what kind of a quarter are you expecting that Titan could have had?
No, I think, already they have given quite a bit of detail in the quarterly update, and we know what is going to come. The key thing is that, whether the appetite for these stocks have come back or not, because, these stocks have been underperforming for quite some time because of the valuation of the concern. I think that those concerns still remain, while the numbers, the street was very happy with the update which has come, and we will also be keenly monitoring the numbers. But I believe that, valuation concern remains, and the valuation remains elevated, and this kind of market, these expensive stocks, the time to, cover their underperformance is much bigger than in normal times. So I believe that, we will not see a very big reaction on either side when the numbers come.
Okay, so that's the move expected from Titan, and so Sandip, Sharan, as well as Arpit, thank you so much for your time. We'll start winding down for the day, and we have